You don't got free reign here. Bring a consistent argument. If you don't want me to read this hadith, drop the whole argument. We can move on to something else. Is that what you want to do? You can unmute. You want to drop this argument?
I want to continue with this argument.
Okay, then stop crying. I'm reading the hadith.
I'm not crying, bro.
All right, here we go. Here's the hadith.
Can you give me any verse in Luke? Because we know that the Gospels were written by their own authors with their own theology. Can you give me a verse in Luke that explains that Jesus' divine mind was veiled in any way, shape, or form?
What I can show you is that from Luke that Jesus is God. That Jesus is God. And I can show you from Luke, since he's God, and then we see him being born in a human form, and we see that according to his human form, says that Jesus grows in wisdom and stature before men and God and get in favor with men and God. Then this demonstrates the hypostatic union and demonstrates the willing limitation that Jesus subjects himself to when he takes on his human nature. So all I got to do is show you from Luke's gospel that it shows that Jesus is divine. And then we also see that Jesus is human. So he has two natures at the same time.
Even if
so do you want me to show you that Jesus is God from Luke?
But can I say something first?
Do you want me to show you that from the Gospel of Luke, Jesus is God?
After I give my explanation, absolutely.
What explanation? There's nothing for you to explain.
There is things for me to explain.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so regarding the veiled stuff, that his divine nature was, that his divine knowledge was veiled. Do you think that is possible? Do you think that is still possible with the fact that Jesus is supposed to be fully God and fully man? Just because that his human, my bad, just because that his divine nature is veiled, that doesn't mean that his divine nature shouldn't be at play, because both coexist at the same time.
You know what? That's an interesting question. You're essentially asking, is it possible for any of God's attributes to be veiled? Right? That's what you're asking. You have a problem with that. Is that right?
To not be in effect. To not be in effect.
Right. So to where it's held back for or something like that, right? It's withheld.
Sure.
Like you have a that's your issue?
Basically with the attributes, but yeah, sure. We can say that.
You're a Muslim? You're a Muslim, you said?
I am a Muslim.
Does Allah have a veil?
Why are you appealing to the Quran?
We're talking about theologies. You said that you have a problem.
Do you know what a true fallacy is?
Hold on a second, please.
Do you know what a true fallacy is? No, I'm going to talk. Do you know what a true fallacy is?
Your grace, please. I know that as soon as we mention anything about Allah or the Quran or hold you guys to be consistent, you guys malfunction and you panic.
Do you know what a true fallacy is?
Please, Grace, I'll just shut you up, Your Grace. I'll forget my insolence though. I'll shut you up. The second that you make a mistake, you make an argument that backfires against you. And the second that gets ready to be highlighted, you manifest. Do you see how easy this is, guys? All of a sudden, this calmness and this respect goes out the window as soon as the hypocrisy gets exposed. He said that he has a problem. Notice what he said the problem is. He said, well, do you think it's actually possible for any of God's attributes to be veiled to where it's not in effect? You know, I said, I hear what you're saying. So your issue is that it is for any of God's attributes to be withheld, to be veiled to where it's not being in effect fully. Is that right? Is that your problem? He said, yeah, essentially, yes. And so I asked, does Allah have a veil? And then boom, it explodes. Your God has a veil. You said that you have a problem with God's attributes being veiled into where they're in no effect right now. They're not in full effect. You said you have a problem with that.
Do you know what a true fallacy is? Do you know it?
Yes, I do. Do you know what a bad argument is?
But do you know what it entails? Can you
Yeah,
give?
yeah. Do you know what a bad argument is?
You didn't really answer my question though.
Yeah, I did.
You're just
Yeah,
appealing to the
you
Quran.
asked me, do I know what a tu quoque is? I said yes. And then I asked you a question. Do you know what a bad argument is?
Sure, I know that.
Good.
But
So a bad argument.
Can I say something now,
So
please?
since you know what a bad argument, hold on. Since you know what a bad argument is, then you know that to present an argument that backfires against you, that shows you're inconsistent, is a bad argument. So, and let me tell you how I'm not doing a tu quoque fallacy. And by the way, tu quoque, guys, is basically, okay, I have this problem, but so do you. That's what a tu quoque is. I'm not saying it's a problem for me. It's a problem for you. God having a veil, or his attributes being veiled, and him freely limiting himself or veiling or withholding his divine attributes, you're saying it's a problem. I don't have that problem. You're saying it's a problem. So I'm showing you that if it's a problem for you, then you need to drop Islam because you exposed Allah. That's okay. Let's get to this hadith now.
No, bro, it's about Jesus being God. Bro. This debate is about Jesus being God. Yes or no?
That is, and I'm sure, and I'm exposing your hypocrisy.
And now you're going to the Quran.
Stop it! I got the hadith.
A universal
I'm
debate.
read the hadith. Stop crying.
Okay, hadith, sure.
Great Sahih. Watch this. You asked me. Did you ask me to bring this up?
I did that. Sure.
Okay, so I'm
this debate
your
about
grace. I am fulfilling your demands. You asked for this.
Okay, thank you. It's up now.
Okay, so now I'm about to bring it up. Watch this. Watch this. Remember, I asked you. You said that Allah has a veil. I asked you what it was for.
About Jesus
you
being
said
God.
you don't know what it's for. Please mute up, please. While I'm talking. Shut up, please. Stop panicking when your sources come up. What is this? Are you guys really human? I've never seen so many people afraid of their own text. When you bring an argument, you better make sure it's consistent. You better make sure it doesn't backfire because you coming to the wrong one. You're coming to the wrong one if you think that you're going to get away with bringing an argument that destroys Islam. Thinking that I'm not going to bring it up and just let you attack Christianity all day. You don't got free reign here. Bring a consistent argument. If you don't want me to read this hadith, drop the whole argument. We can move on to something else. Is that what you want to do? You can unmute. You want to drop this argument?
I want to continue with this argument.
Okay, then stop crying. I'm reading the hadith.
I'm not crying, bro.
All right, here we go. Here's the hadith. Here it is. It says, now, just as I showed you, it's great Sahih. Here it is. The messenger of Allah said, Allah does not sleep, and it is not befitting that he should sleep. He lowers the scales and raises them. His veil is light. My first question to you, is light created or is it eternal?
What's that? Say it again.
Is light created or eternal?
Considering if Allah's light is one of his attributes, and yeah, it's eternal.
Okay. So his veil is light. So can Allah ever remove any of his attributes?
Bro, what is this?
Can Allah ever remove God? Can Allah ever remove any of his attributes? Yes or no?
Isn't this
man? What a coward you are!
God?
You're a coward. You're a coward,
bro.
There's a reason why I still have you here. This exposure is great. Can Allah remove any of his attributes?
Bro, why are you appealing to the hadith? I don't understand this. It's
because you're a Muslim. Right? Because you're a Muslim. That's why. Because you're a Muslim.
It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
What does matter? You're a Muslim.
Okay. What if
can Allah remove any of his attributes? Yes or no?
Bro, can I speak now?
Yeah, you could speak by answering the question. Yes or no? Can he remove his attributes?
Is this life about Jesus being God or not? Yes or no?
Take care of yourself, you coward. Get out of here.
You're a coward.
Don't come back again. You coward. Let's continue, guys, and let me show you why this absolutely crushed him and why he panicked immediately. Let me show you why. Let me show you why he panicked. So he said that this light is Allah's attribute. Now, according to Muslims, Allah's attributes are not separate from him. They cannot be removed. They can't disappear. They're not separate from him. But watch what Allah can do with this attribute of his, this light, this veil of light that he has. Watch this. He says, and if he were to remove it, what? You mean to tell me that Allah can remove his attributes? Stop it. If he were to remove it, what will happen? What will happen, Mr. Muslim? The glory of his face, so Allah's glory of his face would burn everything in his creation as far as his gaze reaches. So I asked him, what is the purpose of Allah's veil? He didn't know. He asked for the hadith. I brought up the hadith. He didn't want to read it. So here we are, that coward. So if the purpose of Allah's veil is to withhold his glory from destroying all of creation. So wait, hold on a second. This veil of light, which is Allah's eternal attribute, can be removed. So Allah's attribute can be removed. His glory, his eternal attribute of glory, can be withheld, can be limited. Wait a second. He asked me, do I think it's possible for any of the attributes of any of the attributes of God to be veiled, to be withheld to where they're not in full effect? Here's your answer. This is in your religion, that your God's attributes can be limited, can be withheld, can be veiled. What's stopping the glory of Allah from breaking through the veil of light and just destroying everything? What's stopping it? Other than him willingly limiting his glory to protect creation behind the veil of light. Likewise, not in the exact same way, but likewise, the God of the Bible can veil himself in flesh, withhold some of his divine attributes to where he's not glowing and destroying creation with every step. He can veil himself, walk amongst us in flesh, and it's not a contradiction to his nature.